When she awoke, I could sense she was upset, as she refrained from acknowledging my being there.
Good morning,
I said, rising beside her, feeling warmth from the glorious rays of a late autumn morning. But she kept quiet, committed to the silence. She rose, preparing for the day, eyes peering to the every way but mine. Over time, I began to know her too well, as her expressions of neglect emerged more and more around me. I nodded quietly.
I suppose I'll wait in the living room if you want to talk.
I looked at her, expression so passive as she inspected selections for dress. I could tell it was but a mask to something massive, a suppression of something else I sense unanswered. I left the bedroom, falling to the couch in the living room, failing to remember the cause of this course delivered. When did such joy and inspiration turn to oblivion? I tried to remember impressions of the night before, but lazily, my mind just soared, like an early rise from a nut gone on far too long, and under substance, for my mind was one frail echo of understanding, yet tranquil. I closed my eyes and listened, observing every detail as she moved through the room behind me. I heard her rummage through the wardrobe, walk to the shower. These moments passed. I heard the faucet and the assortment of jewelry. How I longed for her to come sit beside me. Why was such the dream I cherished? No dying. Am I now the only one seeing a universe come alive through our energy? Are we not equal conduits of cosmic understanding? These notions I failed to realize. I thought of her, still so lovely despite her absence. At least I was graced by proximity and physical presence. A phone call came. It was as she entered the hall, making way to the kitchen. She opened the fridge, inspecting the shelves.
Yeah.
A faint voice, muffled through the speaker, flickered.
Yes. What about him? Oh.
She said.
Really?
She paused, staring for a moment, then continuing through the fridge.
Well, it was a long time ago. We weren't a couple for long, so...
What? Is she honestly doing this despite me? Hey, I proclaimed, and she turned with a small plate in hand, closing the door, walking my way. That's more like it, I thought, releasing a breath, lowering my head. She sat on the couch beside her, attention gauged, solely to the call.
We practically lived together for a time, but it was nothing serious. Are you sure it wasn't related to... gunshot?
So here we were, an old lover of hers, dead by gunshot, and she failed to shed a tear. What was I doing here? It's become all the more clear, this unable defection. But still, I saw something. My stations were forever holding. All the urge, always below definitive. By her sway, I could never do anything less than accept her.
Yes, some time ago. It's like a dream. Why is it taking so long? Listen, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for letting me know.
The call ended as she placed the phone beside her. She said, eating from her plate of assorted fruits, staring vacuously through the space before her. Train of thought.
Well,
I started.
are you gonna tell me what that was about?
When there was no response, I was livid in neglect. How could one lead to such promises, yet refute every ounce of your heart offered, no matter how rightly and determined?
Why is this taking so
What?
I replied, but thinking now, such inquiry felt closer to my mind. Without much regard, I looked up, pained and frustrated. I called her name and reached for her arm, and somehow I am back in less serene moments. I remember more of last night. Must have been before she was home, for I was alone, sitting with tea, drooling quietly over more pleasant memories.
When would she be back? 'Twas all I could think.
Made clear every detail of this scene. When it became apparent I would not see her for a while, the memory changed, but little was known, for the darkness was prevalent. The moon hours slunk in through my windows, making every distinct object shadows of obvious beings, looking at me, entities observing, echoes from some higher, dimensionless place.
Why is this taking so long?
Luru said, but it mustn't have been, for here I am just thinking. But can I remember the feeling? What was I feeling? This memory was an experience in action as I sat in the room, in the memory, at the frontier of unremembered thoughts. And the feeling, a gloomy sensation. Perhaps this was the spark of this morning's separation. As I looked around the eerie dream, I felt something heavy, weighing down my hand. But my hand jolted quickly, and time seemed to settle through loud thunder. And I remembered. Oh, I thought, in some place beyond the mind. Feeling less and less of that bridge to self, these entire occurrences of gleaming figures surrounded me, and I felt the bolt begin passage through my body. The darkness prevailed, shadows detailed. The figures achieved great heights as once fragments of lesser geometry rose to stand and surround me. Angels they were, yet hiding in darkness. I felt the fire pass through and through. Time now has ceased as I await the completion of my end.
Why is this taking?
I thought, exchanging wordless interactions with the divinity aside me. More and more of an unbound energy seeped into my sense of things. As my hold on physical traces vanished through elements of deeper, dimensionless geometry, they looked at me, uncertain, for I had promised them a dreamland.
I will build one here.
You're not here yet, and you won't for some time.
The moonlight shifted as the shadows became luminant. No more helpless on a stool, I laid unmoving. Sunlight from a fallen hour claimed to reach me, but I felt not its warmth, only tight constraint as I realized I held no power of emotion. The figures were gone.
Doctor, this one is gone, so to speak. The only active conscious centers are still waiting for it to happen. Though however grim, the patient will survive.
Is he dreaming?
So say the readings. It looks as it's all he'll do.
Beeping and other notices rang through my mind, and I felt it conflict with my consciousness. I felt the music of such tones and pushing me into a new dream. What appeared to be a white room I left. I was still lying down, and it was dark again. Date on the clock beside me said it was the early hours of the next morning. Beside me, I need not turn. I felt her breathing slowly, so serene and perfect, in her sleep. I turned from the window to eye her once before looking up at the ceiling, refreshed from one god-awful nap. My mind was alert as ever, as they now studied me, slow-moving depictions on the ceiling, the shadowed roof now forming distinct silhouettes, and I recalled those grim details of the dream prior. But it's okay. I've seen them before. Always since the first of my days. Now, more than ever, that I'm with her. A family beyond time, guiding me to the lengths of great stories, such stories, and that I've seen as fuel for inspiration. I rise to begin imagining. Let this light of mine drift in dreams, as I wait to the window. The streetlights howl over dark streets, with the certainty of stations for imagination to find. I sit at the desk by the window, peering out. Never sleep, never sleep, never feel great love surround me. Let the tranquil energy of the outside night consume me. It's quiet now, my within, and as I continue to stare out, I question. The omnipotent dream appears, an invitation. I remain still, awaiting a vision, a song. Why is this taking so long? When she awoke, I could sense she was upset. I could sense she was upset as she refrained from acknowledging my being there.